In the physical mode, because we want to touch and feel, we want to fit on. And then if we feel like that fits us, then only we purchase. But now even for online, like the e-commerce and online retailing, earlier it was for books and those kind of things. Okay, because anyway, book is a book. Either you physically see it or else in the virtual platform, it's more or less the same. So that you have a confidence to buy it. Now it has even expanded to the product which we used to buy with a physical touch and feel, like clothing items. So then all the retailers, clothing retailers, they have to adapt to that technology. Unless otherwise, you will be losing the game of competition. Like I don't know how far that it's been developed in Sri Lanka, but unless otherwise in the Western world, you have the virtual fittings also. You can put your body measurements and you can create a dummy in it. And then you can fit like what we are doing, like the small girls, clicking the certain things and the dress it and see whether the doll is nice. You can do it virtually for yourself. So it saves the customers the time, and also like because we all are in the busy time, sometimes we do not have enough time to go for different shops. And within a shorter period of time, you are trying so many options because it's a matter of just clicking and put it to that dummy. That dummy is you. So then you go and just purchase. So that is a technology now it's expanding. And even like, I would say, if I'm asking you to think about the any industries where the technology is that has been taken as massively changing so that it creates opportunities for marketeers. Mobile phone, it's there. Automobiles, there. What else? Retailing, it's there. Even banking also, nowadays people have gone with online banking and those kind of things. They don't need to go to the physical. What are the other industries that you think that the marketeers, they have unlimited opportunities then because the technology is changing? Huh? Work from home, yeah, that is because of the technology. The transportation, because Sri Lanka has not been developed at that level, but from in the morning, you can check from your mobile phone, like what time the train is coming, what time the bus is coming, so that you can plan yourself and you can reserve the tickets. And how about the education? It says like the education, it's also been the takeover by the technology. So sometimes like you may not, but the thing is you have to be very credible about the source from where that you are reading, unless otherwise like everything is there in the YouTube. But the problem is the credibility, because we don't know anyone can put the YouTube. So that it's a problem yet a question. But even today, like I'm doing some of the things that some of the people are joining from another place. That is also technology, isn't it? And also, can you imagine like the human being is being replaced by the advancements of the technology? Have you seen that video that's been circulated? I don't know whether you have, it has come to your hand. Like the China has created the robot, the female robot. Like one-time charge, she can work for 72 hours. So house cleaning, all these things, like she looks like the real one, not like a robot. The way she talk and the response, like once you see that the video, you want imagine like very beautiful lady. So you want imagine like whether that the lady is a robot or a real one. Have you seen it? So that is the place where we have to think about the future. So then it is the one way it's a threat. But anyway, we can't stop it. So then only thing is we have to adapt to it. Otherwise, as a business, we fail. Or else like even as individuals also, we may fail if you are not advancing yourself with the technology. And along with that, a lot of companies are giving the research and development budget. You have to have research and development budget. especially if you are in the high-tech industry. Like if we take in the world, the Hong Kong, so which has been the giant US, Japan, Germany, and the Russia and the France. So they are the giant for the technology. But the Hong Kong is also having a large number of patents. Patent means new technology. Okay. So, if you just look at the way that the people, even nowadays, a lot of people are migrating from Sri Lanka. So it's like some giants, if you take the Hong Kong, and they say that if you have a patent and if we value your patent, so we will give you PR for you. So that means that patent goes to their country. And some of the technology that we have seen in Sri Lanka, like the train that we use for construction purposes. So that has been done in Moratuwa University, but that in the Sri Lanka, we don't have that much of like rules and regulations, like to get the patent right that quickly. The last trend, it says increase the regulation for technological changes. Because if you are created a new technology, before it's being copied by someone else, you have to get the copyright, the patent right. Copyright is for books, but for those kind of technology, it's the patent right. Okay. So those rules should also be streamlined and expedited. Otherwise, what will happen is those who have invented it wants to launch it, commercialize it. Otherwise, someone else will find the technology and commercialize, then you lose the game. So that's what happened to the one who has invented that one from Moratuwa University, and then Sri Lankan system was not absorbing it. I mean, in terms of the technology. Then he went to Japan, Tokyo University, and they saw the magic of it, gave the patent, gave the PR. Now we are importing that technology from Japan. So this is technology. It's something like kind of very auspicious asset that nowadays all the giant countries are looking for. So whoever is having the technology, just quickly, if they see like it's something valuable for them, they take it. And they commercialize it. Commercialize in a sense like investing on it. So we as marketeers, we should be vigilant on it. Either you have to initiate or else you have to adapt. At least you have to adapt. Like what the Samsung did was initiated, but the Nokia had to adapt it. Unless otherwise you fail. Take down anything that you think is important. Even I didn't say anything about the research and development budget. Just one more thing. If we take some giant companies like the Toyota, so they are investing a lot for research and development. Even if you take the developed countries, the countries what I said, like US, German, France, UK, Japan, China, the Hong Kong, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, they are from the budget itself, they are allocating huge amount for research and development because they want to invent a new technology. That's at the national wise, and as a country wise, if we take the Toyota as an example, like if you just read the story of Toyota when you have a lesser time in the Google, like if you take the composition of the staff, like normally from the Toyota manufacturing plant, they are taking out maybe per day 20,000 vehicles because it's been automated. So it's created in a belt. So then for creating that amount of the production, they are utilizing roughly 2,000 or 3,000 employees. But if you look at the engineering team, those who are working for research and development, that because they have allocated a huge budget for them. So it's like minimum of 15,000 engineers are working for Toyota. So they highly collaborated with the university, especially Tokyo University. So from the second year onward, like the initial understanding was given, then after that, the Toyota is coming and then saying that we need engineers like this. So they sit with the Tokyo University and then the staff and the company together create that product. The product means that human being. So at the time of, by the time of their passing out, so suppose that today is the graduation, from tomorrow onward, they are working for the respective branch in the Well, so that's how they create even the human being, like human resources. In a way, that because the research and development budget is quite huge, so that whatever the experiments that they are even doing at the university level, that's being pumped by the company. Ford is also doing in collaboration with the universities, say for an example, Nottingham University, where I did my PhD. So they have a collaboration with the Ford. So all the Ford projects, the students, engineers are handling. So it's a kind of for them, it's a research and development budget, but ultimately they will be benefited because they get the human resources as they want. Take down. Now, so like certain profession itself, it's been replaced by the technology. The one of that profession is called like the accounting. Accounting profession, it's been forecasted that will be wiped off by the technology unless otherwise if you are not absorbing the subject parallel to the technology. Because accounting, that's I think since you are working, so almost all your companies doing the accounting from a package. You don't do manual accounting, isn't it? And also with the advancements of AI, artificial intelligence, it's been forecasted like the role of the lecturer is also being threatened. Because if it's been created, if the knowledge is there in the cloud, so if we created someone with the AI, so that someone will grab everything and will give you the answer. But that is like only for theoretical side, but because education is not only theory, so there are some other aspects as well. So that because of that, the lecturers would survive because of the other aspects. Otherwise, the knowledge is there. And even for accountants, like you can be replaced by the software, but for the interpretations, it's required the human capital. To make the decision, it's required the human capital. Okay, done. It's all right. I'm going to go to the next one. The next one is like political and legal environment, where like there are some rules and regulations to protect the consumers or the society or companies. Okay? I'll give you some examples, and after that, I'll leave some time for you to take them. Okay. So, so as marketeers, we should be aware what those rules are, and then we have to adapt to it. That's what it's simple as such. Some consumer protection, the laws and the regulations that we have to follow. Some examples from your side. So I'm not today, unfortunately, I can't give the chance for the virtual students because even though you are telling, I can't hear you. So that I give the chance to the physical class. Yeah, so what is the rule it says like? like for the employees to maintain like certain the working condition, the minimum wage, yes. That is even to protect the society because the human being and also people. What else? What are the other things like just to protect the consumers? Some, but of course I have to tell you like I don't know the ones those who are in the virtual platform, but the Sri Lankan context, yeah, the real implementation of those rules, it's a questionable. But rules are there. Maximum price, yes, price control. But there is no like the price control is being given, but there is no one to monitor whether it's been in practice. So the marketeers no need to be worried about it, I would say. Okay. And what else? SLS standards, it is a nominal standard because the one time I think you do remember there was some the chemical which really create the cancer for the oil. So then the top person in the SLS came to the media and saying that anyway, in all the foods, like certain percentage of poisons are there, this is all right. Okay. So then what's the point of putting a SLS standard? So then we can imagine if that is the mindset of the topmost person. So then there is no value for the sticker of SLS. Okay. What else? Pollutions. Yeah, certain rules or regulations are there, like whenever you are releasing waste. So if it is like the polluting there, you have to make sure it's in a certain height. So then it won't go to the normal people. It is just to protect the society. What else? And also like, yeah, some rules for tobacco, it says that whenever you are not supposed to like do the promotions, mass scale promotions are not possible. So that's why we can't see in the mass media, even in the social media. And also like it says that in the package itself, you have to give a alarm, the smoking cause cancer. So that's why you have seen like the package, it has a big picture, but the warning is in a very tiny letters. So it's like, since they want to do that warning, they're just giving. But that is something to protect the society and the consumers. What else? And the traffic light system for sugar level, if it is red, the high sugar, orange, and the green is no sugar. Okay, so that's all. Like if the rule is there, if it is being placed, then the companies needs to adapt. Certain things are in practice, like traffic light system and the tobacco one, so that they are in practice. Okay, and but certain other rules like price controls, those ones they are there, but they are not going into the practice as such. And also like even to protect the society, there are certain the rules like especially relevant to the advertising industry. Because when you are talking to the children through the advertisements, a lot of companies try to talk into children. Why is that? That's a marketing point. You see all the advertisements. So any advertising agency love to speak to children. What could be the reason? Yeah, that one reason is they are the future customers. Yes, because at the very small age itself, like if they can tackle those people, so they become brand loyal, especially for FMCG products. So if you give the taste for like milk powder, so those kind of things, even like the ready-made milk. So if you let children have a habit of having Milo every day after coming back from home, coming back from the school, so then it has become a habit. So once it has become a habit, it's very difficult to break. So likewise, yes, that is one reason. They are future customer. Other reason, they are very good influencers because they can influence the entire family, especially for dining out. The children are the ones those who decide, okay, which restaurants we have to have our meal and which film that we have to watch. And for vacation, where we have to go for vacation. Okay. Especially with the Sri Lanka, like with the small family concept, I'm the 1 or 2 kids in the family. So then that is the auspicious. Okay. I'm also in that category. So not me, because I also have just one son. Yeah. So then like they are very, very strong influences. So therefore, like whoever the marketeers wish to handle the children's mind, and the other reason is they are very good imitators. They nicely imitate whatever they see, they try to do it. Okay, because their mindset has not been developed as the young people. Okay? Whether it's good or bad, simply imitate. Especially like less than 10 years. Like once you more than 10 years and 12, 13, 14, once you become like teen, like after 10. So then you are a little bit of thinking about like, is it good for me or bad for me, something like that. So the three reasons. One is they are the future customers, and the other reason is they are good, very good influencers, and also they are very good imitators, so that we can easily tackle them. So that you have to be very careful when you are talking to children, because either you can give a good habit or bad habit. So therefore, when in the advertising agencies, like certain rules are there. So if you are passing a message for children, they make sure that it should not harm them in the future. So unless otherwise, they are banning. Like, I don't know whether you do remember, there was one advertisements from Samahan. It was taken out from India, and that's our language, it's been done. The girl who was like age of, if I'm not mistaken, it was a long time ago, 10 years old, that age. So she is like doing all the naughty things, like the rain, just going to the rain, and like without washing the hand, like she is eating and she's with the dust always. And then mama is telling that don't do it. When she goes to the rain, so then the mama telling that no, don't go it because you will get sick. Then what's her response is, no, I'm all right because I'm with someone. You see, like it's a bad message the children could take, because they might take it like so long as if you are with Samahan, like you don't need to listen to parents. You can do all naughty things. So it was banned. Then after that, it says that no, we can't telecast it. And also, so certain like it says, especially for mass media, so if it is goes with the alcohol consumption or tobacco consumption, that's been banned. So that's why you can see that the squares being blurred. That is to protect the society. And also, like there was one advertisement, it's from New Delhi, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's New Delhi, where the mother is coming with the couple of yogurts in a bag, and then after the mother is coming, and the children were not around. Like she just opened the door and then kept the yogurt on the table. And she was looking for children. They are not there. And the children are coming from the other way around and taking those yogurts and go to the corner and eat. That was also banned. What's the bad message? It says that the bad message is being stealing the thing from the parents. Because anyway, that has been brought for them. So so they're just coming from the other way around and take it and eat. Then if it's been observed by the children, then they might think that this is an interesting thing. This is what we should do. And you have to be very careful when you're handling with the children, because that's why the parents are very afraid, like when you are going out with the children, because the words the children will use. So if they are being grown up in the context where the bad words are being usually being used, and they don't know whether it's good or bad, they use it in front of others. Then all the status will go. And also like also it's nice thing you can observe when your children start nursery, like you don't need to see like they might call you for a parents meeting. In the parents meeting, they are nicely treating us like parents as well as the children, but you can they really know what's their behavior if you are observing your small daughter or a son, because just let them go for the school, like the nursery. And especially boys won't do much, but the girls are really doing it. So once they return and they in the relaxed time, so they are playing the role of the teacher. Keep all the dolls and take a stick and then shouting, and then you can imagine, this is the nature of the teacher at the school. So therefore, that like just by observing children, you can see like which kind of environment that they are being exposed to. You don't need to go to the school. Even if you go to the school, their treatment is totally different. So therefore, for children, a lot of rules and regulations are there when you are handling. How about to protect the companies? To protect the companies, also there are some rules, especially for tax release. So if it is basically for export purposes, BOI, so that is to protect the company. So we should be aware of those ones because we have to get the benefit of it. And also when even in the advertising, when you are in the advertising in marketing, we say our product is better than somebody else's product. Okay. So then in the Sri Lankan context, it says that you are not supposed to use that somebody else's brand name. You can say that this is good, but don't use that person's brand name. But in other countries, it's allowed. I will come back to that one later on. So that's why you might have seen in commercial, like the screen is there. I'm taking the Sri Lankan commercial. So the screen has divided into two. Say if the Klogard advertisement, no, the detergents, yeah. In the detergents, like Surf Excel, if Surf Excel wants to say that they are the super, so then the one side with the brand and the other side white color. And also like the Lifebuoy, when Lifebuoy want to say that they have the more power for germ killing, screen divided into two, one side Lifebuoy, other side green color. So that was a message like we are superior than the Dettol because Dettol is the green. And Dettol is also doing the same if they want to. And that super green cattle, Manchikran, super woman to super. So even though it's super, it's not really super. Okay. So that means like you can't say that super green culture is from Manch, if I'm not mistaken. It's from Maryland. So whatever. So and also the other, don't get mixed up lemon puff, and the real cream biscuits. So they're like directly challenging the competitor, but not telling the brand. So it's been prohibited by the law. And also like the Klogard advertisements these days, like the lady who is with the blue color top coming by complaining that my son is having a toothache, and the lady was wearing the red color and giving she was coming with to ask some clo, and then the lady with the top red color, she was saying that Klogard, this is what we are using. So that means Klogard is red, the blue is signal. So they are passing a message that the people, those who are using signal will have the toothache because it doesn't have the chloride. So that's the part that, but you can't use it with the brand. So that is Sri Lankan law to protect the companies. But if you go to UK, where that is not there. So like if say in the supermarket industry, if a particular supermarket, say for an example, Sainsbury, if the Sainsbury wants to say that a particular, the range of products, they have the lowest price. So they are comparing in the mass media, okay, this is our price, this is Asda price, this is Tesco price. Okay. So then they show like it's very transparent, and then the customers can decide, okay, this is really true, but you can't see it in Sri Lanka because in Sri Lanka it's not allowed. Even though the kiosks might be saying that we have this much of discount, we have the cheapest, but you can't come to the mass media or social media and compare as per the brands. That you leave for the customers. Understand that is just to protect the companies when you are competing with each other. Take down those examples. Now I have given examples for all these three. You are in 30. Like my answer. So you have to keep down examples, because I don't know whether you have recognized it or not. The slides, it's very summary. I'm explaining and giving always example because marketing is a practical subject that you will see me at the exam. What does that mean? If I'm explaining with the examples, I'm asking from the examples. So that's why always it's very worth for you to take down the examples. But if you have taken down the example, then again the concepts also comes to your mind. So it has dual purposes. Is it all right if I'm going to go ahead? So then that is what it says. A lot of rules and regulations are there. So we should be aware of it. You as accountants, of course, you all are very much aware about the rules that's relevant to accounting. Even accounting standard itself, it's rule. Okay? So that you have to adhere to that. And the government agencies are there, those who are taking care of that. And also like even for import and exports also there are some the bans, I mean the restrictions. So we should be aware of those ones. So the growth of special interest group means, like as I told you even at the beginning of the discussion, the Sri Lanka we can't see these kind of groups, but they generally apart from the government, if some special groups are there, so we have to be alert on that because they also can make a kind of a voice against the company. Socio-cultural environment, as I said earlier, I will not discuss in this marketing environment topic because the next topic anyway I'm covering up. How the culture and the social factors are influencing people, that is the next topic. So all in summary, we should be alert on how the environment is changing so that we have to adapt. Otherwise, what will happen is we become dinosaurs. I told you the story. So that is, the company should decide whether you want to be a dinosaur and die yourself, or else you want to be an eagle, like changing yourself so that you have a good future. Okay, so during the break, I will upload this one as well, the next topic. Now, I told you, after the environment, I'm discussing about two important parties in the microenvironment, consumer and the competitors. That the time has come. Now I'm going to start talking about the consumers. That means like in marketing, that's all it's about, understanding consumers, customers, and give something in an outstanding way. That is what marketing is all about. So for us to do so, first we have to understand the customers. That means we have to understand the human being. I would say that is the most challenging task in this world. Understanding human being. Do you agree with me? Why? Why we can't understand human being? Now tell me the reason. Highly volatile. The one who is there in the morning is not the one who is there in the couple of hours time. No reason, mood change. Females, superb. Even than the males, females are changing their moods. That's one of the differences between the male and females. What else? What's the other reason? Why we can't understand human being? One is always changing because once we understood, it is not the one that's happened. So that it's hard. Other reason. It only this is a general knowledge, the subjects that you can observe. Why we can't understand the human being. But the marketer is supposed to do it. Yeah, their desires. The diversity is really high. The desires are really high because if you take like, you may have brothers and sisters in your family, same mother and father, same family environment. Sometimes have gone to the same school, but two different characters, two different preferences. Understand that diversity is there. That is what really make us really challenging for us to understand the human being. Now I gave you two reasons. One, it's highly volatile, always changing. It says like it is like a sky. In the morning it's very bright, but we don't know in a couple of hours time it might rain. And other reason is a huge diversity. Like the preferences are very the mass. So that's why, like so. Because of that, because of their volatility, the high, the flexibility, I mean, always changing nature, very difficult for us to predict because we never know what will happen. So that's why, like, even yourself, you just think about yourself. So one time you just go to the in the break, or maybe say you want to try vanilla ice cream. But the next day you will say that, no, today I don't want vanilla, I want chocolate. So if someone asks why, no reason. Without reason, like you have changed. So how the marketeers can predict your behavior? That's really hard. So, but they have to. So then let's see how it happened. These are the session outline. So you might have heard about like psychology. So there is a subject discipline called psychology. Okay. So in the psychology, it's all talking about human being. And different subjects are talking about different things. Like accounting, it's talking about how you like the document, the cash usage of a company. In financial management, it's talking about how you manage the cash. In operations management, it's talking about how you utilize the resources to get the maximum benefit, maximum outcome. Human resource management is talking about how you get the maximum output from your employees. Marketing management is talking about how you understand the customers and fulfill their requirement, and out of which how you get the profit. And the psychology is talking about the behavior of the people. So for us to understand the behavior of the customers, we have to get the support from the psychology. You might have heard about the Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is the father of psychology. Okay, so who has invented a lot of things with reference to human being. So, since human being cannot be taken as a subject for investigation, because you can't put, like, if you take the research, like in the chemistry or in the pure research, in the natural science, where you put it's happening in the laboratory, you put certain chemicals and see whether what is the reaction. So that you can understand if this mix up with this one, this is the output. So that's a kind of understanding. But for human being, we can't do it. We can't take a human and put it to the laboratory, and we can't do this kind of the state like a simulation and see the reaction. We can't do it in that way. I don't know whether you have like watched that the movie, like it's a drama that's telecast in Sri Lanka. I can't remember the name. It's a Manitha or something. Like, yeah, so probably, yeah. So they are like the person is being taken for the research. Then on the middle of the research, the person has taken the conscious, then, but by the time the person was getting the conscious, so he was not a normal person, very abnormal person, destroying the entire world. So that pass a message like you should never ever get a human being for experiment. So what the Sigmund Freud did was he has like taken animals like monkeys, dogs, and rats. Even for some of the medicines, still they are using those medicines and cosmetics. So they give to those animals and see whether how about the reaction, because they won't take the people as the sample. So I'll tell you just only one theory, and also we are using it for marketing. That is what we call as the Pavlovian theory. So in the Pavlovian theory, what does it say? We can put people into condition without that person's awareness. Without your awareness, so somebody else can put you into a condition. You can put you into certain kind of habits. So what his experiment was, he took a dog and he rang a bell, and in a particular time in a day, and soon after the bell was rang, the food was given. So that's been continuing for several times, several months or weeks, which I exactly remember how long. And then, so then the dog realized every time when that bell is rang, so the food is following. So then the dog's entire biological system, it's ready to have the food. Now then with the bell, even without the food, the dog is ready for the food. So then Sigmund Freud realized, this is what we can put people into condition if something is repeatedly done. You just imagine if you have a habit of having a dinner with a particular the telegram or particular the news or something. Say that if it is telecasting at 8 o'clock. Even if you had something at 7, you feel like having dinner at 8. Because you have been conditioned. Pavlovian theory. Understand? Like if you have a habit of having a dessert after your meal, like if it is continuing, then even if one day if the dessert is not there, you don't feel like your meal is completed. That because the marketeers or whoever can control you. It's a psychological game. So without your understanding, you can be controlled. So that is what we are going to do. So we should understand how the people think and how their mindset would work. So then accordingly, we have to guess the people would like this way. So more the people that we expose to, we can go for more predictions. Lesser the amount of people that the marketeers are being exposed to, it's very difficult for them to predict the human behavior. That's why the experience matters a lot for marketing. If you recruit a marketeer for a particular company, then normally the company, the one who is recruiting, asking the origin of that person. If the person has come like jumping to the somewhere in the middle of management, the companies won't like. They want people to start from the grassroots, from the field. So that they know that what's going on in the field. So you go to the field and see how the people behave and how people think and how people make decisions. And then it's really valid. So then even though it's the qualification doesn't value that much for a discipline like this, because the discipline is totally talking about the understanding the human being, that you have to do it through the practice. Okay, that is the main scope of this, the current topic, which I'm going to have a discussion. Here we are talking about the consumer behavior. So that we are talking about the consumer market. I think you do remember, like in the core marketing concepts, there is a concept called market, where I said 5 types of markets are there: consumer market, business market, reseller market, international market, and the government market. So now in this topic, we are talking about the consumer market. What does that mean? The customer and consumer sometimes would be the same, sometimes would be different. So say that if you are running a restaurant, if you are buying fresh milk for that restaurant, you are a customer and you are representing business market. But if you buy fresh milk for your home consumption, you are a consumer. Because consumer is always, from the term itself, something that you are buying for consumption purpose, either your personal consumption or your household consumption. That's what here it says. Buying behavior of final consumers may be individuals or household that buy goods and services for personal consumption. Okay, so that is the focus of today's discussion. Where if we take all these people, like all the individuals or household who buy or acquire goods and services for personal consumption, we call them as consumer market. Okay, then any questions so far before we go for the break? Now today the virtual class is having a question on it. The physical class silence I always take to me, and the virtual class, I don't know whether it's audible or hopefully, yes. If it is not audible, like you have to update me either at least by putting a chat message so that I can get the assistant from this side. So long as you are silent, I'll take it in the positive way, that thinking that you can hear me. Okay, we'll take 25 minutes break for lunch, and then we'll come back in 25 minutes time. Okay, start now. Okay, before the break, we start the consumer behavior. Hope you have come back to the class. I said like in this topic, I'm talking about like consumers, the ones, those who are purchasing product for final consumption purpose. And also I said that like at the beginning, understanding human behavior is very difficult. So that we are sometimes borrowing some techniques from the psychology. So there are this model, it's talking about that. Okay. So as you can see, the center is called as bias black box. So the bias characteristics and decision-making process. So there are the bias characteristics means like our characteristics, because we are, you and me are biased. So our features, the way that we made of, and also how we are making decisions. Okay. So these two, it's like a black box. Nobody knows how it happened. Because if I ask you to like explain your character, you can't explain. Even I can't explain myself. Because it's something that somebody should understand. I'm this kind of a person with this kind of a character. Okay. And also, like, if I ask you to just like rationalize every single decision that you have made in your life, that is a hard thing. Because you might have made some very foolish decision, including me. Okay, we are making some foolish decisions. So then we don't know, like, why we made that decision. So therefore, we don't know our nature, and also we don't know how people make decisions. It is like in a black box. But anyway, as marketeers, we should understand how that happened. So the only thing is we can look at how these people are responding to certain stimulus. So that's the only way that we can understand about the human behavior, the consumer's behavior. Like if something happened, then how people respond to it, then it shows like this person is someone like this. Like I would put that into a layman language. So where if we take a particular person who is very silent, you take yourself as a silent person. If I'm taking me as a silent person, like so long as if I'm silent, you can't see, you can't predict who I am. But if someone did something for me, then the way that I'm reacting, then it shows who I am. Okay? So that is what it's called stimulus response model. So the people are responding to certain stimuli coming from the environment. Okay. So the way that we are responding, only that we can understand which kind of a person he or she is. Like these stimuli are in two forms. Some are marketing related stimuli, some are general stimuli. Okay. So then the way that we are responding to those stimuli are like sometimes it's just our preference, like whether we like it or not, or maybe our purchasing behavior, like whether we purchase it or not, and also like how much that we are loyal to a particular brand or a company. Okay, looking at these three, we can see like how they are responding to these changes. Like say for an example, if the technology is changing in the mobile phones, like with the smart features, new mobile phones are coming, then suppose a particular company has used that latest technology and introduced a product. So then suppose that if the initial stage of Samsung who introduced that mobile phone, right? So then Samsung are not aware whether people like this or not. Only way that they can get to know is looking at the sales and what people are talking about it. Isn't it? Once they launch the smartphone initially, then we don't know the people's preferences. We don't know like whether people like it or not. Okay. The only thing is like if they get like from the consumers, if consumers are talking about some favorable thing about their new phone, and also if this Samsung where like the sales also increasing, then they know that in the technology what we have used, the new product that we have launched, people like it. So therefore, always we can understand the behavior of the people by looking at the response they are making for the stimulus. Like say for an example, if a particular company increase the price, if they increase the price, that is a stimulus, price increase. So that you can get to know whether people like it or not just by looking at the sales and how people are like talking about that price increase. So even though the price is increased, still people are continuing with the sales, same product. Then sometimes it shows the brand loyalty and sometimes it shows like people don't have some other option, like what happened to fuel prices. Or else like maybe I think I told you that day what happened to Samsung KVC jam. So they kept that jam in their showroom, DSI showrooms, which the shoe retailing shop. So it's a place. But people didn't buy that one. So that is the reaction from the people. So that reaction shows we don't like the place where you left the product for us to buy. So likewise, like anything that's going on here, we don't know people like it or not. Only thing is looking at the way that they are responding, we can understand people like this or not like this. And even like some the changes that's happening in the economic environment. Like if the bank increased the deposit rate, so that's linked with the price, of course, when it's come to the banking industry. So then if the bank's getting more deposits just because of the increased interest rate for the deposits, and then they know that this interest rate, people like it. Understand? Now, like with that example, you try to explain this model because it's one of the past paper question. I think I have asked several times to explain the stimulus response model of the consumer behavior. This is what we call stimulus response model of the consumer behavior by taking some suitable examples. So that was a past paper question. So now what you have to do is, now I have explained, so I have given examples for mobile phones. Also, I have given example that ESI, the place. Also, I have given example for the price increase. So to take down those examples, by then I explain like how the stimuli are changing, how the customers are responding. From that, how we can understand the customers. Take down this one, please. I'll leave like 5 minutes. Even if you take down that the question like explain the stimulus response model by using suitable example, it's worth trying at home. And also, like, I think since we are coming to the almost like middle of the semester, so I should plan out your assignment since you have a virtual class. So I can't give you the group assignment because is it all right if I'm going to give you a group assignment? I'm asking from the virtual class. How about this other subject? Giving group assignment. So if that is the case, it's make me easier. So then you have your own groups. How many members are there in each? 5 member group. How many groups are there in 5 members? So your batch is 40, 60 groups. No? Okay, I will also draft like design something. It's something practical, like you have to deal with the company and then report and a presentation. So I will give you next time. Okay, let me proceed. The other thing is like when we are looking at the behavior of the person, that person's behavior is depending on so many factors. So let's see what those factors are, then how those factors are influencing. Okay? And these factors are into 4 categories: cultural factors, social factors, personal factors, and psychological factors. So this is something common sense, you and me very much aware of it, but just to complete the note, I will just discuss so that I keep some time for you to take down the notes. So that's here, it's all talking about how the cultural factors under which we have culture, subculture, and social classes influence the behavior of you and me. Okay? So let me start with the culture. Culture is something like it's collection of values like customs, rituals, and the way that we behave ourselves, basically about how we live. So then, it's the most basic cause of person's wants and the behavior. Like based on the culture, our wants and the behavior is determined. Like if I say since we are Sri Lankan, like in the lunch break, we used to go for rice and curry because it's our staple food. That's our culture. But if you are in another country, like probably they may not go for rice and curry, they may go for chips or maybe sandwich or something like that. Okay, so that means that what we eat, it's predominantly determined by our culture where we born and grown up. So the marketers are always trying to spot cultural shift in order to discover new products that might be wanted. Okay. So also like marketers should understand people behave as per the culture so that like you have to adapt to that culture. Some examples where the marketeers have adapted to the culture where they are operating. Some examples where sometime like when you are going to international marketing, like your product now launching in different countries. So having said that, different countries are having different culture, so that you have to change as a company. You have to change yourself. Some example from Sri Lanka even. Huh? Yes, pizza. Like how it has been changed. Like sometimes being Asian, we eat a lot of spices. Even among the Asians, Sri Lanka eats a lot of spices. Okay, so the level of having spices quite high compared to the other Asian countries. So therefore, when some food chains, when they are coming to Sri Lanka, like what you said, the pizza, even Domino's, even like KFC, the McDonald's. So they have to use bit of spices, even though they are not using in other countries. You have to use it in Sri Lanka. Otherwise, that doesn't match with the Sri Lankan taste. So that is culturally bounded one. Okay. And also like some meat item. Having said that, the Sri Lankan people predominantly go for chicken. Then in your menus, so that menu item should made of chicken mainly. But in another country, may not be the same. And what else? Rice, as we are, our staple food is rice. So the mac rice, it's a menu item in Sri Lanka, but it is not a menu item in another country. Okay? So that's a cultural adaptation. What else? And even like yeah, what else? Now I'll give a lot of examples. Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola, it's again the universal product. Yeah, but if you take the Western, the product that they're offering for the Western culture, it's a bit of a bitter taste. But for the Asian culture, they are giving a sweet taste because Asians love for sweet. So therefore, the production formula they had to change. Even if you are like this, read a bit of like when when the Coca-Cola is launching to Japan, so the culture was a bottleneck because those days, like Japanese, they had like a mindset. If you are taking something, if you are drinking something in red color, so it's like drinking blood. So then they didn't like it. But the Coca-Cola is coming in reddish colors. Isn't it? So it was like the culturally people think in that way. So your product is reddish color so that anyway, even if you launch, people won't take it. So what they had to do is they had to change the production formula to change the color. Their original color had to be changed to yellowish color because the Japanese, they mainly drink green tea. So once the green tea is made, it's coming in yellowish color. So they had to change the color which is similar to green tea. So then slowly, step by step, they change into the original color. So that's like how marketers should adapt to the cultural at the national level. Even once again, like in Japan, they, as a culture, they mainly purchase those kind of snacks and the drinks from the vending machines. So everywhere you go, like in Japan, vending machines are there because the people are very efficient. Even like for food, they won't stop. So in the bus stop or in the railway, or wherever you can see the vending machine. So then Coca-Cola had to invest for vending machines when they are launching the product to the Japan. That's a cultural adaptation. And also like if we take the Nescafe launched to Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka is a tea drinking country. We have a tea drinking culture. Okay, we are made for tea drinkers. So Nescafe is a European product. Okay. So then when they have gone to the, like we say that the mature, they are marketing the Europe. So then they were looking for some markets to expand their business. They realized, okay, Sri Lanka would be one of the markets. So, but the culture is a bottleneck. So what they did was they changed the production formula to Nestea. So they came with the Nestea. They are half of the brand because they want to let people familiar with the brand so that they kept the nest. But since the Sri Lankan people are fond of having tea, and also they put the tea flavors, and the Nestea separate machines also were there those days. That is a cultural adaptation. Take down those examples. Take down those examples like how the marketeers should adapt to the respective culture. Now I gave a lot of examples for mac rice and the Coca-Cola taste and the spices. So we call it as localization. And even deliveries in McDonald's that is not available in other countries. That's something culture requested so that they have launched that facilities to Sri Lanka. And also especially like in the restaurants, uh, like even though in the Asian continent, even though predominantly people are eating rice, the version and the way of eating rice, like we Sri Lankan and Indians, we eat like from our hands. So that in the restaurant that's been served in plates. And also, but in the Sri Lankan culture, we like have all the curries in the plate itself. So that they put everything together and serve it. But if you open up a restaurant in India, so probably the of course you have to adapt to their taste, Indian taste. So that is a cultural adaptation. Other than that, the way that it's being served, like you have to put the curry separately. And also in China, in Vietnam, so where the rice is being even Japan rice is being served in a bowl. And the version of rice is also not the same rice that we are eating here because it needs to be sticky rice because they are using chopsticks. So that's a cultural adaptation. Even a small product of rice, the version should be different. And the way that you're offering should be different. And now I gave one example like what happened when the Coca-Cola was entering into Japan because of the color. So then after that, how they have adapted. Like also, it was the same case when the Gillette races, when they are entering into Iran. Iran is like 100% Islamic country. So Islamic in a sense, like not like in Sri Lankan Islamic, like it's original, like with the more the bound with the culture, I mean the religion. So where they want encourage shaving. You can see almost all the gents with the long beard. So then the racers you can't like go to the market and you can't promote in public. So it was a bottleneck. The culturally created bottleneck for Gillard to enter the Iran. But they did it. How? How they might have done it. So it's also cultural adaptation. They introduce it as a medical product, medical equipment for surgeries. Like if you have a head injury or something, you have to shave. So it was not a like the normal FMCG product, not a community product. It's a medical equipment. It was a medical equipment when they were launching it to the Iran. So then, like after that, it was available in the market. Whoever wants it, take it. So likewise, the marketeer should understand whatever should be matches with the culture. Unless otherwise, you have to be creative enough to find another path, like what Gillard did. And also, when the particular soap, when they are launching to Malaysian market, it's predominantly Islamic culture, and they want allow like animal oil to touch in their body. So then you have to change the production formula to take off the animal oil because to have the soap, you have to use certain kind of oil. And also even perfume. I don't think like that is that like rigid in Sri Lanka, but unless otherwise in those Middle Eastern markets, so it says like the perfume, it's like the smell doesn't allow. So even though they are using perfume, that is alcohol-free perfume. And even for like the some food industry, halal food. those kind of things. That's all shows how the marketeer should change their approach to culture. And also, if I like ask you to think the other way, the culture is something learned. You and me, we learn the culture while we are living. It's not something we born with. Do you agree with me? Because our parents taught us you have to eat from the hand. Then it is being continued. It's something originally we learn from the family, and then after that we learn from the community. So the marketeers are nicely using it. How? So with the master plan, you can teach the culture. You can change the culture if it is something learned. And it is more easier country like in Sri Lanka, but some countries it's difficult. Like some countries where the people we call as ethnocentric people. Ethnocentric people means the people who love their product, like Indians, Chinese, Japanese, the Koreans. They really love their product, so it's very difficult for an external party to change their mindset. Even like in China, so they are not even allow people to use Google. Why they are that much like close? The culture is not open to others. Okay. That because they know that if it is open, then especially young generation, they will go because it doesn't have a end. So you can go anywhere. So if you have the Google with the mobile, so that you learn certain things, and then it has become a habit. Then if everyone is doing, then when the generation goes to the next generation, the next generation is totally different. So that's what happened to Sri Lanka. Like we have a polycentric culture, polycentric people. Like we love foreign products. Maybe because of a colony mindset. Because we love fair people. The white skin, that's colony mindset. And also we love like if you have two products, one imported and the one local, and even the imported product is sometimes cheaper in quality, but they have to say that this is high price. Then we might be paying for the imported product instead of local product because we have the colony mindset, or else like that's our nature. So therefore, people in Sri Lanka can easily be influenced. Culturally, we can be influenced. Some examples. Some example can you think of how we have been influenced and then it has become part of our culture? Since you are practitioners, I'll leave 2 minutes for you to have a chat and give me an example. Otherwise, after lunch, you will sleep. Found something? Yeah, tell me. Someone said yes.
Dairy products.
Huh? Which way?
Use a good class things like that.
Ah, right.
When come to local product and foreign product.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, it's a good example. Yeah. Like, I want you to think like the sum of the things that has become to your, like it has become your practice. That because it's you have learned from some other country or some other the culture, some other the marketeers might have imposed to you. Do you have that kind of habit?
Consuming bakery products.
Consuming bakery products, yes. Yeah, for breakfast, yes. What else? Huh? Feng Shui, yes. Yeah, Feng Shui. Yes. What else? Marketeers are the one that like they have taken from, and even like some fashion. Yeah, certain kind of the cosmetics, the fashion. Yes, fashion as you so like you might have seen certain fashions. They are not even matching for the Sri Lankan climate. But you might have seen that people are doing it. I wonder whether how they are wearing. Probably the material they might have making it more light, like hoodies. So hoodies, it doesn't match with the Sri Lankan culture, but especially the young generation, where like they have been exposed to the world, and they might have seen in some other culture. So just imitating, so that they want those products, so that they are demanding. So it's an opportunity for marketeers. So they are looking for that product in the market. So, but marketers should understand they should not make that from the same material that they are making for the Western countries. Because unless otherwise they can't wear in Sri Lanka, so that you might have seen certain, the hoodies are being designed with a very light material. I'm learning those ones with my son also, because he's 12 years and he's going to the Google and he's looking at, and I learn about the hoodies because of it. Because he has gone to out of country, but not in a age where he can remember, but still he was looking for a hoodie. Then I was wondering like how come he knew about this product, because he had not been, like after 5 years he has not gone out of the country. Then I realized that he has seen. Then I asked, like I gave him one. Then I asked him from where that you get to know. So no, I have seen it in the net, so that I want it. So you see like how the culture influence what we are demanding. Okay. And also like the even Nescafe did it. Now originally our tea drinking habit was a bottleneck for them. Then what they did was they changed themselves so that they offer Nest tea. But then after that, having said that the culture is a learned thing, it's not something people made. And also the Sri Lankan people, polycentric people, so that easily within a short period of time, like even less than 5 years, we can change the Sri Lankan people. So because they really like the Western culture. So therefore what they did was like they established coffee shops as an affluent product, luxury product. So they established the coffee shops in Colombo area, Colombo 7 area. And also coffees were offered like very luxury prices. If you go to the coffee shops in Colombo, I don't know the names, like maybe close to 2,000. Okay? A small cappuccino one. But if you go to Western culture, so it's just in UK cappuccino, it's 99p, less than $1, £1. So once it's converted into Sri Lankan rupees, £1, it's 400 something, 450, like, but it's the price, it's for the status price. So that was much popular among the teenagers, not you and me. So the teenagers really love to go to those places to either to hang around or to show their social class or just pretending that they are in that social class. Okay, so because of so many reasons, people like that coffee shops. So in for gathering, they use those places as a place of being socialized. And the coffee mindset then impose. So instead now, you just listen to the teenagers, how they are talking, like they, instead of I would say they want to show that if they are having coffee, it's like a posh product. Like the product that gives some status to you. So they little inferior to say that let's go for a tea. Tea's become inferior product. The coffee become a posh product. So that's something that multinational company did for our mindset, okay? The marketeers. So they used to say that let's go for a coffee. So then if you go to any restaurant now, Nescafe is there. So the Nescafe it has become a very high demand product because people accepted cafe. The earlier people didn't accept it because it was culturally not supported. But then they changed the culture. Now everyone is accepted. Nestea is not available now. You search in the market, Nestea, you can't find, hardly you can find, but it's not. But Nescafe, it's there in almost all the places. So that from the marketing point, it's two things. Either you localize, so that means you change yourself, or with the proper master plan, you change their culture. That Nescafe did go for Sri Lankan market. Take down that other side also. In the long run, even we can change the culture that we are targeting. Okay. And the other one is subculture, where within the culture we have based on the nationalities, religion, racial groups, and the geographical regions, we can see diversity, and it's something common even other countries as well. Since mainly the students are from Sri Lanka, I'll take Sri Lankan examples. Based on the nationalities and religion, we know that the way that the Buddhist community, the celebrating their religious festival, it's totally different from the Tamil community. Even the way that they are dressing, the Buddhist mainly for the temple, they used to wear white, but the Hindu or Tamil community, it's very colorful dresses. Okay. So that's why especially clothing retailers, when the Vesak is coming, so you might have seen all the window dressings are changing to white colors. So when the Christmas is coming, everything is changing to red, green, and the Christmas colors. That because of the subculture. And also food habit. Like food habit also changing. With the religion, some people want halal food. So that if you are catering to that subculture, to make sure that you are having adopted that halal policies. And even dresses, like the certain communities wearing certain kind of special dresses, where so if your target market is them, then you have to have those models. Understand? And even like that, that's for the nationalities and religion. But racial groups are not much popular in Sri Lanka, but it's very strong in India. It's very strong because of the racial groups also, like say for an example, like Singh people, that they cover the head with long hair. Excuse. So likewise, but in Sri Lanka, I don't think like we are very much concerned about those ones. And how about the geographical regions? As per the geographical regions, there are some diversities that determine how people behave and consume. Some examples like if we take Sri Lanka, like the people in the down south, it's known that they are having very high level of spices whenever they are having food. So their spices level are quite high. Okay. And also they have a different the way of consuming. Like I don't know if you have someone coming from the down south. So they have. I'm not the one who is coming from the down south. I have like heard. So like they are using wood apple with the rice, and also curd with the rice. Okay. Anyone in the class who can correct me? That's what I heard, and I have seen in only few cases. Yeah. So that is the food consumption behavior. Okay. And also that's why you can see like the Matarabat Kade in Colombo. That's why the Matarabat Kade in Colombo. Because they know that down south people, they are traveling daily from down south to Colombo for the job. Okay. So then they have a special taste for the food. They are not matches with the food that is being served in Colombo. So that's why it's an opportunity for those the people, those who are having restaurants. So they are specifically targeted for those people because it's a very high level of spices and the different the way that you are having the taste of the food. And also the vocabulary also it's quite different. And also like and especially what else? The even Candian saris and those ones, Candian the ladies they wear Candians, where the rest of the regions they mainly go for Indians, but very hardly we can see the upcountry people wearing an Indian sari. Okay, that is also geographical diversity, and especially if you go to the northern part of the country, like so especially for advertising, like whenever you are putting hoardings, you have to put it in Tamil. Otherwise, those people can't understand. You go to Jaffna, Trinco, and that side, you might have seen everything written in Tamil. So that is your geographical diversity. So therefore, we as marketers, we should understand that diversity and also we have to adapt ourselves. Take down those examples like how the religion and nationality and the racial groups and the geographical regions So this continue until 3:30. 3. 11:30 to 3. Okay. So is it all right if I'm going to proceed? Now I have already finished culture and the subculture. And the other one is social class. So the um, so remember, like the mainly the students are making mistakes. Social class is a cultural fact. It's not a social fact because we believe social classes are something. It's like some cross section. Those are permanent. So that's why it has been taken as a cultural factor. So let's see what is social class and how the social class are influencing the behavior of the human being. So social classes are relatively permanent and ordered division in the society whose members share similar values, interests, and the behaviors. It's not determined by a single factor. Like basically, the social class is determined by a combination of occupation, income, education, wealth, and some other the factors. Those are similar to this. Like if we take any society, we can see three social classes like upper class, middle class, and the lower class. So that is also having two sides, like depending on what social class that you are belongs to, your behavior and what you consume, it's determined. So if somebody belongs to upper class, that person is consuming the product that matches with that person's class. And if a particular person belongs to middle class or the lower class, again the same. For the product that matches with their respective social class, they will go for it. That because the social class, it's the one of the variables that determine the social class is income. So that middle class people can accommodate for middle class product. So the upper class people can accommodate for upper class product. It is the same for the lower class people. That is like clear-cut relationship. So which industry that's mainly matter? Which kind of product where the social, because of the social class, people will go for different options based on the social class that they belongs to. Automobile, yes. And what else? Cosmetics, yes. alcohol, tobacco. The people will go for branded one. The ones, those who are in the lower class, they will go for inferior product. So that's also like, and perfume. And even mobile phones. And the way that you are spending vacation. So that's all like the social class is closely related with. I hope you all are taking it down. And the other thing is like because of this, some of the products are being called as status quo product, like the product people use to show their status, like mobile phones, automobiles. So they are being called as a status quo product because, like, sometimes you are not really belongs to that social class, but you are using those products to show that you are in that social class. Like I was having an interview for my research. These days I'm interviewing some people in the top management in corporates. So last night I was having an interview with one of the company owner. So he was like sharing his experience, and he said that he has recruited maybe and marketing executive or someone. Like the salary, it's like since the starting salary, 35 or something, 35,000 or 40,000 in Sri Lankan rupees. Where like after a couple of days time, like he has brought an Apple phone. Okay. So then like in Sri Lanka, Apple phone, it's a status quo product. Okay. People used to show their status. So then that the fellow, the owner of the company, has just having a chat with him, and then that person who has purchased an Apple phone and asked like, "How did you buy this one? Okay, from where did you get the money?" So then like he has replied, his father has got the like what's the amount, like the money that the father is getting when the father is getting for a going for a pension, not the pension, gratuity, the gratuity. From the gratuity. From the gratuity, like he has asked from the father to buy the Apple phone, and the father has bought it for the son. You see, like he just want to show that it's a status quo product. That's what I say. The marketer should understand certain products for certain markets, status quo product. But Apple may not be a status quo product for another market. Like cappuccino in Sri Lanka, like coffee shops in Sri Lanka, that is a status quo product. But in another country, no, it's a normal one. And sometimes like even some people, even automobiles also. So people go for luxury vehicles to show that they belong to the social class. Sometimes they are not really. And also like, especially some countries like in Sri Lanka, where the people justify from the outlook, from the dress, from the vehicle that you are coming, from the mobile phone that you are using, the people justify like what kind of person he is or she is. So therefore, those products have become like wristwatches, the designer clothing, the automobiles, and the mobile phones. They have become status quo product for the Sri Lankan market. So then it's a kind of a confusion for the marketeers, because some of your customers, they are really belongs to that social class, but some of your customers may not be really belongs to the social class, but they pretend that they are in social class, so that's why they are using those products. understand that both sides are there when we deal with the social class about the consumers. And it's really amazing, like, then again, we did a research, and then from the research, we realized like even medical surgeries, some serious surgeries, that is a status quo product for Sri Lankans. Like, because so long as it's a medical surgery, the priority should be given for the safety, for the assurance. Okay. Because after surgery, they make sure that you are still living. That should be the assurance when you are deciding whether I'm going for X hospital, Y, or Z. So the marketeers are looking for that, the choice of the hospital. Okay. So they realize like some like bypass and those kind of like very expensive the surgeries, and people be careful about the brand name of the hospital. So that is also like, it shows the status quo flavor, because then you can go to the like your society and say that I have done my surgery in X hospital. You are inferior to say that I have get it done from a public hospital. So that we should understand. So I don't know from where that mindset came, but that is the reality. Take down those ones. You have to take down both sides, how the social class, real social class influence the choice of the product. Initially, I explained. Now I explain, sometimes there are some group of customers, those who are using products to show that they are in that social class. Sometimes that may be a pretension, just pretending. For certain products like automobiles, mobile phones, wristwatches, designer, the garments. So they are using as a status quo product, so that they can use those ones to show that they are belongs to that social class. That side also you take down. Okay, done. May I proceed? So I finished with the cultural factors. I discussed culture, subculture, and the social class. Now let me go ahead with the social factors. So which has groups and social network, family, role, and status. So let me start with the group. Groups, it's like if you take the Asian culture, we love to live in groups. So we call it as we are in a collective culture. But if we take the Western countries, so they have individualistic culture. So that means they live alone. Live alone in a sense like they do have a family, but their mindset is very individualistic. So since you are based in Asia, like why I'm saying that we are with the collective culture, that's why we are very much worried about how others are thinking about us. They're so much worried. And also when you want to, I don't think like it's that popular in the, maybe popular among the gents also, but among the females, like you need a companion. Always you want a companion to do certain things. Maybe for shopping and those kind of things, you love to go with someone like a friend. They're carrying another one also. Okay? So you love to be socialized. Okay? So then it shows like the group, it's something very predominant in the Asian content. So we call them as reference group. That means like you are changing your behavior in a way that matches with the group that you want to be with. So let me repeat it again. Like you behave, not that you are behaving in a way that you want, but you are behaving in a way that the group wants you to behave. Otherwise, you think that you will be out of the group. So that's why I say that reference group. You are referring to their behavior, so you change your behavior so that you want to be take part of that group. So they accept you as well. So it's both way. You also can influence them, and also they can influence you. I'll give you some examples. The reference group, it says reference group serve as direct face-to-face or indirect points of comparison or references informing a person's attitude or behavior. These groups, basically, we have two types: membership groups and non-membership groups. So in the society, when you and me are living, sometimes we live in membership groups. Like we have taken formal membership. Example, your batch. So for particular time period, you have registered for, I don't know which, it's BSc Applied Accounting. The BSc Applied Accounting exceptional batch. For a certain period of time, you are going to be in as a batch together. So it's a membership group. Now tell me what are the other membership groups that you have already, currently you are there, and also you might have already had in your history. What membership groups that you were there? At the moment also you might be there, but I just took the example from the class. Other than the example that I gave.
The school area.
Yes. And even like the entire school itself is a membership group, because it says like even a family is a membership group, because that's why I said that at the moment also you are in that group, because it's a membership group that you will be there in that group until you die, isn't it? Because your membership will not be expired until you die. So even after dying also, still you are a member over there, even though you are not living. And other than the family, the longest, most influencing reference group is the school. Like, because if you are going to a particular school from kindergarten until you finish your secondary education, GC A level, like it's 13 years. Even if you are changing somewhere in the middle to another school, again, it's a considerable time period. And also as per the human behavior, like once the people come to a certain age, they don't care the parents. Like very small age, their heroes are mother and father. But after some time, mother and father is not the hero. They don't care what the mother says and the father says. So once they become teenage, like 12 years plus, and their friends and teachers, and sometimes only like not all the teachers, only pick and choose teachers. And especially the peers, friends. So that's why parents are very much careful about and which school that you have to let your children go for. Because it's like after some time you can't change anything. It's just the school will mold your child. So the marketeers are very much aware of it. They know that in a certain age, they don't care what the parents are doing. That's why even in the advertisements, like they are speaking to parents if the children are like very small. Then after that, if you want to target that group, you have to like bring the stories from the peers. So which kind of say for an example, like so sometime I'm taking, since I can't take yourself as an example, I'll take myself as an example. Like I told you, like I have a 12 years old son. So he is in a stage where he doesn't care the parents now. He care most about the peers, the reference group influence. So then sometime once in a while he's asking money. So why I'm saying like this one, I don't give money because this is, it's don't know for which that he is using. He said that my friend is having this, my friend is going to this shop, so that I should go. Always referring. And also like sometimes he said, my friend is having this game, so that I want it. And sometimes like when he is going for the class, like he's telling that, Mama, I want one of your phone. Then I asked, no, you don't need a phone because I'm going to drop you and I'm going to pick you up. And also you are not supposed to use a phone because you are still 12 years. No, my friends are having phones and they are bringing the phones. So you see like the references he's making, he's learning from his peers. So the marketeers nicely know it. Then the answer what I gave him, like I said that, okay, I will give you a Achemma's phone, which is a button phone. He said, no, I don't want. It's fine. I don't want phone. So like you see, like he wants to be in that group so that he's changing his behavior. He is demanding the product in a way that he himself is matching to that friends. So all the fashions, haircuts, shoes, games, bags, all the companies are nicely using it. And some illegal companies, illegal products also. These days in Sri Lanka, like if you are vigilant on the media, so it's always it's saying that the drugs and the tobacco, alcohol, it's very fastly they are targeting school children. Why? Preference. Preference group influence. Because if it is just if a one school children is addicted to drugs, so without control it goes. No one knows how it goes. Okay. That because there is a certain age, like they really love their friends. So whatever friend is asking, you do it. So that is how powerful the reference group is. Like some tobacco companies those days also they use like because they can't do mass scale promotion because it's been banned because of the law. So what they did was like when the school, the off time, it's like in Sri Lanka, it's 1:30. And then by the time of 1:30, and they let people, very smart people, to smoke in front of school children. Just coming with the luxury vehicle parked somewhere. So like they have their own business, not just to show them, but the showing others, like the nice personality, where there is a certain age where you also want to develop your personality. You are looking for the attraction of the opposite sex. So in that age, so they show that along with this consumption of tobacco, the personality comes. So if some are being addicted, then it goes to the others as well. Tobacco, alcohol, drugs, that's all. Companies are using reference group very powerfully. And sometimes like the people are asking mobile phones, people are asking laptops. So people are asking different fashion and also clothes, I mean shoes, the bags, everything that reference group is really matters. Even you think about yourself, like sometimes you may be a person who works in advance. But if you are being in a group of your assignment, all the rest of the 4 members are working last minute. So you try to change them, then after some time you have changed yourself in a way that they won't. The majority is like this. So what the hell, like you are like keep on telling them, if they are not changing, why should I do? I will also wait. Reference group influence. Correct. So take down those examples, how the membership groups influencing. The reference groups, take down reference groups are in two forms, membership groups and non-membership groups. Membership groups where the people have taken the formal membership. Example, schools, and the bachelor's degree batch. So likewise, you can put, if you belongs to any club like cricket club or some clubs. In this group, people refer to the members in the group and accordingly change their behavior. And people refer to the members of these groups and change their behavior and demand the product accordingly. So you can take down examples, fashion items, shoes, haircuts, mobile phones, laptops, and the way of spending vacation, going for movies. That's all. The people and alcohol, tobacco, drugs. At all, those membership groups are very powerful. And sometimes, like we have a habit of going for vacation just because otherwise, and even in your office is also reference group. This is also reference group. So sometimes like you behave in a certain way, not that you want it, but that other office mates are doing it. And especially like in the vacation, how people are spending vacation. So because after the vacation, you don't have anything to say to the group, then you have to go somewhere. So if you have, otherwise like you can't say that I was all staying at home. So you feel like then you are not in the group. I think it's you and me, of course, we may not have that kind of thing, but like so children, it's the case. Okay. They say that, okay, well, now the school holiday is over, so we didn't go anywhere. So what I have to say to my friends? Then yes, that's true. Then we have to go somewhere, then he will tell about what he was doing in the vacation. So it's a reference group. And going for movies. So if your office mates are saying that like this movie I found, like it's a kind of a motivation for you to go as well. Having food in some restaurant. So if they are saying that that place is really nice and really delicious and it's keep on telling and you feel like one day I should also try. So that's all the reference group. And there is another one called like non-membership reference group. And then I forgot to say something like there are some people called opinion leaders, like the person within the reference group who is because of the special skills, knowledge, personality, and other characteristics, they can more influence the group. Like maybe the leaders not being appointed by the teacher. Like in the class, teacher appointed leaders also there, but some people like maybe because of that person's expertise or the personality, everyone is listening to that person. So that person can influence more than the others. I don't know whether your batch is having that kind of people, like by among yourself, you are appointing, okay, you are the representative, class representative, someone like that. So that what it's called opinion leader. So now I told you like two types of reference groups are there, membership groups and the non-membership group. The non-membership group means like you don't have a formal membership. And yeah, so you may have another 20 minutes more. So I feel very sorry, like you don't have a tea, I have a tea. I will not tea, don't have any. So what I said was like we have non-membership groups also, where you have not taken membership, and but still you're a part of that group. Like cricket lovers in Sri Lanka. Like when there is the tournament going on, like so many people watching. So they really enjoy. It's a really fun of it. Okay? So it doesn't mean that all of them are playing for a cricket club. So sometimes they have never ever played, only as a hobby there. Okay. So sometimes some rules they just learn just by watching. They don't know. They don't know even the rules of playing the game, but they like it. Okay. So that is what we call non-membership group. That is also can be used as influence the others. Like in non-membership groups, also opinion leaders are there. So what the companies are doing, what the marketeers are doing, they pick up those the opinion leaders to pass the message to the non-membership group. So that's why the time to time some cricketers are coming to the media as brand ambassadors, like those days, Sangakkar. So he, because of his performance and the personality, people really love him. So then the companies are taking him as a brand ambassador and saying that, okay, you have to come to the screen and say that I'm using this product so that it's good. So then the followers, the cricket lovers would follow it. And especially in the last tournament also, the whoever playing very well, so the companies are hiring them as call it as celebrity people, and also they become brand ambassadors. So they become the opinion leaders so that they can influence. Okay? And also, like why I'm saying that this non-membership preference group also can influence. You might have seen some people like there are some people who are very much concerned about their health, like going for jogging and the gym. So likewise, okay. So sometimes they are really, if they are really being member of a particular gym, then it's a non-membership group. But sometimes they just pretend that they are going for the gym, but they are not really. Understand the point? Like this human behavior is so complicated. Theoretically, it says that if they are belongs to a particular social class, sorry, a particular the reference group, accordingly they behave. That part I explained. But there are some exceptional, no, I can't say that even exceptional. There are some people who wants to show that they are belongs to those reference group. That's why you might have seen some people like always with the sport shoes and the sport dresses. Like if you just walk around in the evening time. But Just looking at their body, you can see like hardly they might have gone to the gym. And both gents, male, female, both. Especially like these days, if you have seen like sports shoes, so that they have, it has made a kind of a fashion. But I don't know, like whether they really do the sports or just pretend that they are sport guy or a sport female. Understand, like, so that the marketeer should understand it. And one more thing. When you are picking up the opinion leader to pass a message, especially in non-membership preference group, you have to be careful. Why? Why we have to be careful? Because yes, in case like, because normally you are signing an agreement. Say that if a particular, like even the last tournament also, like I think 3 people have been taken up by the Soft Logic as the brand ambassadors. You might have seen their, like in their hoardings, likewise, even emerald shirts. So they are picking up some people. So for those kind of opinion leaders are charging a huge amount of money from the companies to represent as a brand ambassador, because then after that you can't appear in the competitive companies. So your company, it's only this. Like Sangakkara, if Sangakkara is saying that I'm shopping in Kiehl's, then the next month Sangakkara can't come to the mass media and say that I'm shopping in Arpigo. Okay? You can't do it. Okay? So therefore, it's like a long-term commitment, so that they are charging huge amount from companies. So the marketer should understand like whether they have to go for that kind of investment. If so, like who should it be? Otherwise, what would happen is you are signing an agreement. If that opinion leader is creating a bad image for himself or herself, that will reflect in your brand as well, which is having a negative side as well. So what happened to one of the cricketer in Sri Lanka? So, and also I told you like not the good stories, bad stories are having wings. So sometimes the entire world didn't discuss about his performance, but the entire world is discussing about his loophole. So that's the nature of people, especially among the Asians. For the Western culture, it's like, it's happened, that's it, forget it out. Okay? But the Asian people, they always telling like a big story. Then it's damaged that person, as well as if that person is being signed with an agreement to be a brand ambassador, being an opinion leader, that will be a huge damage to the company. Take down those ones. The non-membership group. Group which people have not taken formal membership. The group people have not taken formal membership. But still, they are belongs to such reference group. Example, cricket lovers in Sri Lanka. Mainly opinion leaders are used to pass messages to these reference group. Example, good cricket players, within bracket you can write down anyone who you wish, are being used as brand ambassadors of some brands to pass the message. To pass the message to this nature of non-membership reference group. To this nature of non-membership reference group. So now I am talking about groups and social network. In terms of groups, I discussed two types, membership and non-membership. And it is very powerful in Asian continent. So because we love to live in groups, so therefore we always refer to somebody else's behavior and what somebody else's think about. Especially dresses and haircuts and those things. And the other one is social networks. You see, it's more powerful. Like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube, so many social medias are there, social groups. So it's like people live in social network than in the real network. Do you believe? You just see like sometime, I don't know whether it's the behavior of yours, I don't think so. But especially among the teenagers, like you are in a community, but you are with the phone. So that means the group, it's now been replaced by the social network. So you do everything with the phone. So you love to live in that group. Like group chatting and the living in the social media like Facebook. So sometimes like you forget about the reality because you are living in the social media. You are living in the Facebook. So because in the Facebook or the social media, you develop a certain personality. People. Because people can develop a certain, we call as personal branding. You create a particular, totally different person in the social media, but in reality, you may be another person. So therefore, for you to maintain that status, you are purchasing certain products. Especially among the celebrities, those who are present in the media. So like the behavior, the way that they are living is totally different. Like they dress nicely. And sometimes they hire and dress. Okay? It's not their own. And sometimes the way that they celebrate the small function, they celebrate, that is, we also do it, but we celebrate and we don't put that into social media. But they celebrate and put a small video and put that. That is to show the community like this is how we live. Like, I don't know, for somehow, like some of those videos are coming to my phones also because my phone is a kind of a public phone. My son is also using. So then like, so one time I have seen, it's one actor and actress recently married. And then they are like, every single thing that they're doing in their life, like small video and put that. So building up their image in the social network. That is what they do. And that is very powerful because people imitate the other person in the social media. So a lot of things that's been discussed, it's become so powerful than that is discussed physically or in the mass media. So that's why, having said that, social media, its social networks are that powerful. Marketers are nicely using it. How? Mass media is not powerful these days. It's the social media. The normal physical groups are not powerful. It's the social groups are more powerful. Sometimes in the class, you may not have friends. You may have even like less than 5 friends, but in your Facebook, you may have hundreds plus. that shows that where you are living. So now tell me like how the marketers are using this, the boom of social network. And how influencing it's that we have already experienced, like in the presidential election, the Maithripala said. So that the totally it's the social media. And also with the COVID or whatever that's happened. So first they block the social media. Isn't it? So when the protest is there in Goldfields, once they reach that place, the social media is not working. So they know the power of the social media. Because it can go very quickly, can influence people very quickly, and people trust it very quickly. So then how the marketers can use it? Any clue? As you can see, like since you are practitioners and when you get the budgets from the marketing department, like nowadays people don't spend much for mass media, especially with the crisis. So because they can easily pass that message, minimum cost, social media. So every single organization is having a Facebook. Every single organization is having nowadays, like with the advancements of technology, like there are some people, those who are there to manage their websites and those social networks, they are appointing a separate person. That is kind of image building, the brand name building. So the promotions, marketers are massively using social media because they know that that is a very powerful and most reachable mode. And also it's productive. How? You put a post and then, so you are eager to see the comments. How many shares, how many likes, and what comments. Isn't it? Okay. So immediately you get the feedback. But if you put an advertisement in the mass media, so you don't know whether people criticize it or whether people like it and whether people watch it. So there is no feedback. So in the cost effective way, in the cost benefit analysis, this is more powerful because once you put something, within a couple of minutes, you get the feedback, then you know that the message that you have passed, has it been gone, or whether people like it or whether people accept that product or not. So therefore, the marketeers are very much use this one even for promotion, and also not it doesn't limit for promotions, like you may have heard about like big data analysis. Like they are collecting hell of a lot of information about the target market through the social media. Because if you like even like the police and the CIDs, everyone, like if someone wants to know the character of the person, first check the Facebook and all the social media, because it shows which kind of person you are. The mobile phone is the one first check. It shows who you are, and I don't need to ask from you. And even like if you are, since you are with the social network, so your character is being recorded in the cloud. So that's why time to time, like certain messages are coming to you. So that means either you or someone else who use your the phone or the social media. So they have gone into those sites. So then that site has recognized you. I have a potential customer. So if I have a product like this, I have to share to this customer base. So they are collecting the data. So long as whenever you are going for social networks, so every single click that you make out of your device, it shows that where you are belong. So like which colors mostly people like, which nature of product mostly people like. They can analyze those data, and every time, like if something goes out of blue color, if many people are watching it and they know that, okay, this community like blue color. So you don't, nowadays, it is not required to have a separate research for marketeers. So and time whenever you are go for certain, the social networks, it's asking you to accept the cookies. So it says that you have to accept the cookies for you to go to this group. if you really want to go to that group, you have to accept the cookie. So if you are accepting the cookie, so that means they are tracking you. They track you, and then after that, it will become their target market in the future. So that from that, the Power BI, so you might have heard. So from there, they identify, okay, this is the place where our target market is. So that whenever we want to launch our product, this is the place where we have to target. Like especially some educational institutes, when they want to promote the degree programs, so they can analyze where this time A-level crowd is located, in which places. Just a matter of looking at their Facebook, okay, where the Facebook users are located. From the just simple command of Power BI, so you can get it, and then you promote your product in those areas. So that it's really worth and it's very cost effective. That's how we use the social network connecting with the big data analysis. And with some softwares they are being connected with those ones. And that is the future of marketing. It's not just traditional mass media also. Take it down. The social networks and take down, they are very powerful because of the cost effectiveness. You can get the immediate feedback and it is very cheap compared to the mass media. And you have a very high reach. Within few minutes, you can reach like millions of people. And looking at the likes, shares, and the comments, you can get the feedback. And also people can be influenced to the social media because people learn from the social media. Fashion and certain products, people go for it because it was popular in the social media. So therefore, marketeers are nicely using this for promotions instead of mass promotion. Nowadays, social media promotion is much more popular. Every single organization, either at the brand level or for the entire company, the Facebook is there, Instagram is there, the LinkedIn is there. And even in the developer, so you don't give CVs. So they're asking, and which name that you are in Facebook, in which name that you are in LinkedIn. That's it. It's just a matter of going and then see whether who you are. So that can be used for targeting the customer base. As I told you, how the education institute can locate where their potential markets. So if this time A-levels, now they are commencing the A-level in Sri Lanka another 1 week's time. So then this institute can track where those people are located, in which the region of the country. So the Power BI will help you for those tracking. That is being connected with the social network, and then they know that, okay, no point of telling everything to the Colombo people. So you have to bring your promotions to those areas because they are the potential market. So even for identifying your market also, we can use it. Okay, then we have finished with group and social network, family, role and status. I will leave for the next time.
Don't check my class.